the information superhighway, an online network called Internet.
Do you ever think about where chickens come from?
Well, the eggs, right?
That's highly debatable. What's the true belief? What came first? The chicken or the egg?
We're going to get into religion again immediately.
No, it doesn't have to be a religious thing.
Yeah.
The correct answer is egg, right?
Well, it's complicated because I don't know.
Depends on how you look at it. Because the way I have always seen it is the egg comes first, because what we know now as a chicken came from an egg at some point.
Yeah.
From an earlier ancestor that we wouldn't say was a chicken.
Yeah. I think you're right. Because dinosaurs laid eggs,
right,
and dinosaurs evolved into birds. So yeah, I think you're probably right. I think the challenging thing is that there's no way to judge what was the first part of it, because evolution's such a gradual scale. It's not like it went from dinosaur to just chicken.
There wasn't just sudden, like, one dinosaur didn't just shit out a chicken one day.
Right.
That didn't happen.
But I do think you're right that, like, it evolved. The chicken likely evolved from something that was already laying eggs, and then it became a chicken. So yeah, I think that's a smart way to.
It's really just the way you interpret it.
It's like it's one of my favorite philosophical questions is like the whole if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? And like yeah, what do you think the answer is?
Well again, that's a matter of perspective.
It sure is.
The reason I laughed was just because there's this, one of my favorite videos on the internet is from a YouTuber called Kroby Cat. It's about he makes just like sort of edits comparing things or making fun of things. And one of the ones he did was just a supercut of like the hype building up to No Man's Sky, Sean Murray lying about No Man's Sky, the reception of No Man's Sky, and then the death of No Man's Sky. And one of the things was, it was like this GameSpot video where this guy was saying, he was like, if a tree falls in the wood, he has an accent, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? This is not what he sounds like. Most of you would say no. Or he said something, but the point was, like, he ended it with, but in No Man's Sky, the answer would be yes, or like the opposite of whatever. It was really funny. The way that it was edited was really well done. Yeah. But that's why I laughed. But what do you think?
Well, so I forget the philosopher's name that kind of came up with these concepts, but there are like primary properties and secondary properties. I can't remember the exact terminology, but like, for example, sound is what we humans interpolate. Interpolate. I combined the words. I said interpolate, which I don't think is a word.
It is now.
It sure is. It's what we humans interpolate to be like air pressure waves, right?
Yeah.
We detect that as sound. So if no one's around to hear it,
technically,
it makes changes in air pressure, but if no one's around to detect it as sound, then it doesn't actually make a sound. It makes the primary property, but not the secondary property.
Right.
Yeah.
That's, again, it's just a matter of perspective. You could make pretty solid arguments for either one.
Sure.
Because, like, technically, yes, it's making a sound, but no one's hearing it. So the way that we understand
it's only a sound if people are detecting it. Otherwise, it's just the changes in air pressure.
Right. And that's sort of why that caveat of if no one's around to hear it doesn't make a sound.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's our science sound talk. Welcome to the online podcast.
Welcome to the online podcast.
The first ever digital audio cast that also has video now. We're truly in the future, folks.
Yeah.
I'm Link.
And I'm Din. And together we are LinkedIn.
A dead website?
It's still around.
Yeah, nobody uses it. You use LinkedIn?
Oh.
Yeah. Nobody uses LinkedIn.
I feel like it's one of those things that I set up years ago.
Have one.
And I feel like I should at least go back and update it.
Yeah.
Just because.
It's just our nobody, I don't think, it's not fair to say no one uses LinkedIn. No one uses LinkedIn in our industry.
Sure.
Creatives don't really use LinkedIn.
I just have a website that tells people everything they need to know about me. I just have scottnicewander.com, and it just has just one single page that's like, if you want to contact me, here's a little bit of bio about me, and here's a picture of my face. Like, that's all. That's my LinkedIn, you know?
Speaking of Squarespace.
Yeah. Hey.
No. I wish.
We're not sponsored. I am.
Yeah, but I'm not.
Yeah.
We're not. Collectively, as the hive mind that we are, we are not. Did you get it? Did you see the email that they sent out the other day?
Maybe. They
sent out a thing that was like, this would be like 2, 3, 4 weeks ago at this point. But the other day, in our time, they sent out an email saying like, hey, if you want a Squarespace sponsorship and potentially be the next big podcast host, fill out this application. And it's basically like, you put in your information and send in like a 2 to 3 minute voice recording of your idea for your great big podcast. And then
is this a great big podcast?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna do it, but I don't have any ideas for like something that I think would be like the next big thing. You know,
I have to talk to you about a podcast that may or may not be happening that I don't want to talk about because it's like real early stages. But if it comes to fruition, I'm going to be really excited about it. And it's like a podcast that I've always wanted to do.
Is it about monkey fucking?
Yes. I didn't want to talk about it. We don't have the monkeys signed on yet.
Yeah, that's going to be a process to get them to understand and sign release forms.
Yeah, well, it's all about consent, right? So first we have to teach them about the concept of consent.
They already have monkey fucking down. They're good with that.
Trust me. Yeah, I mean,
they know
they're
what they're
skilled,
doing,
right? But it's just making sure they understand the fine print.
You just don't want to get sued by them.
Exactly, by the monkey business.
Yeah. Is it wrong that I picture gorillas when I say monkeys? Because that's wrong.
Yes, I picture monkeys when you say monkeys.
I think that's just, I'm a racist.
That's what it is.
Monkey racist.
You sure are.
Apes.
I've always thought that about you.
Let's we only did one question last time, so
yeah, why don't you just dive in? Let's just jump into it.
Let's just jump into it.
Let's just jump in.
I think Philip DeFranco orgasms every time he says
that. You
that.
think so? Yeah. I get the same vibe for every time. Okay, well, this comes from our Twitter account at @TheOnPod. Every time we're about to record, every 2 weeks or so.
Every other week.
Every other
Thursday.
You can tell because we're wearing the same outfits.
Don't look at it.
My outfits get more and more flamboyant as time goes on.
I'm sort of like a blue and gray Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
It matches my socks. I can't show the socks, maybe. Or can I? To the visual people.
Wow.
It's very similar. My socks are down, though. You got to pull them up.
Yeah, I got a little more variance in the blue.
Yeah, you sure do. You got a couple different blues going on.
Got quite a lot of blues.
There you go. Just wanted to show off how flexible I am, monkeys. So anyway.
On to it. I did it.
Anyway,
who we got? Spit up some
people are asking about memes. I know you don't like memes.
I mean, we can answer it. I don't care.
It's kind of spoilers for Infinity War, though.
Yeah, let's try to avoid that.
I mean, this will be coming out a couple weeks.
I know, but still.
Okay.
There's no rule for when you should. Like, if we're not gonna, there's no reason to, unless it's a good question.
Yeah. Okay, so this actually kind of applies to a video that you posted recently. At Victor.
Sorry, I'm just thrown for a loop that you even know that I posted a video.
Yeah, dude, I'm subscribed to you.
Are you?
Yes, that's how I get these podcasts, so I can listen to my voice.
That's fair. Sometimes I forget that this podcast goes up on my channel. If that makes sense, then continue.
Well, this just comes from Victor, who says,
Victor,
how much would you want to have spider butts on your wrist like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man? Would you sing the Spider-Man theme, but instead of saying Spider-Man, the lyric is charged, I think they mean changed, to spider butts. So it's like spider butts, does whatever a spider...
Cunt.
Oh boy. No, but so the general question, the question is, how much would you want to have spider butts on your wrist like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man? I know you posted a video somewhat recently about how you want him to have, he should have organic webbing. But would you want
Would I specifically?
spider butts
Yeah, sure,
on your
why not?
wrist? You know?
I mean, I wouldn't just want the butt of a spider on my
No,
wrist,
you would
but-
want them to actually shoot. You would
Yeah,
want like
just-
spinnerets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's just saying that to be funny.
You think so? I think he means
Well,
literal.
he says like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man doesn't have...
I don't
Tobey
know.
Maguire's not walking around with
I don't know.
the decapitated ass of a spider.
Maybe.
Decapitated is not the correct word.
No, that's a head.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that. Why
Yeah,
not?
that'd be kind of fun, right? What would you do with the? Would you swing around, or would you more use it to like be lazy and like grab something
Oh.
from across the room?
Be lazy, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%, right?
Oh, they would get kind of messy though.
Yeah, because do the organic webs dissolve like the synthetic ones?
I
do?
assume they dissolve in
think
an
so?
hour the same way.
Same. Okay. What if they didn't though?
They just forever.
Or like until you like wadded it up and like threw it away? Yeah, I guess. Or like someone just walked in, like they walk into your house and they walk into the web and they got to do one of those moves.
Yeah, maybe I don't want this.
Yeah.
I would want it because there's like he doesn't present a downside in any way, right?
Yeah, right? Other than like the possibility that they just stick around until you get rid of them.
Yeah, but that's what, like there's no downside to just having them.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love the option to if
it
I
gives you more
desperately
options.
like if I don't want to get up, but like I wouldn't use it for everyday things.
Mhm.
But if I, if we were like earlier, I was already sat down ready to record and I had to hit the record button on that.
I think
That's an example
I
of,
think
like,
in the Sam Raimi movies, I think there are times when Peter Parker like uses the webs to like grab a thing from across the room and pull it towards him, and like the web is gone. So does it just like get sucked back into
That
him?
is in the Sam Raimi movies, yes.
Yes?
He
Okay.
can because this was something when I was originally tweeting about organic webbing, Anthony, Nutman on Twitter, he was like, no, it's gross. I don't want the webs to go back into
Yeah,
him.
that's weird.
And I was like, what? That because I didn't remember that. But he showed me a GIF or a video of in the Sam Raimi movies, Spider-Man like crawling back up, like he
Yeah.
like
Isn't he like hanging upside
yeah,
down
he's
and then
hanging
he
upside
like
down and he just goes
Yeah.
back up without
Ugh.
moving in any way, and that's like
Yeah.
the only way to explain that is if he's sucking the webs back
Yeah.
up into his wrists.
Oh, I hate
Which
that.
I'm cool with that.
Oh, I hate that.
Because like if that's just a part of your body, then you'll get used to it.
But like, so it's like when I was a kid and like my friends, to kind of be fun and gross and edgy or whatever, would do the thing where they like have the thing of spit go down and
Ew.
almost touch the ground and then like suck it back up. And I
don't
feel
that.
like I'm gonna go pale just thinking about it. I hate that.
That's like webs aren't saliva though.
They're kind of like similar though,
They're not
right? Because they're not
liquid.
right? But they're like a fluid kind of a
they're
thing,
a fluid,
right?
but they're like inside they're a fluid, but when they
Sure.
come out, they're hard.
Yeah, but then when it sucks back in, does it turn back into a fluid, or do you just have like this wad of web like just sitting in
No,
your
I imagine
wrist,
it
or-
turns back into a fluid when it's in there, but you don't
Okay.
see that.
Sure. I don't know. It's weird. It's just I don't know. I'm not a fan.
I've seen some real life web shooters lately that are really cool.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, they use like magnets and shit.
Oh dude.
It just looks so fucking cool.
Heck yeah.
Like it's there's one on Etsy that I saw that it's just you only get like they're cartridges, and when you fill the cartridge up, you get one shot, and it just like there's no like there's really not a lot of utility to it because you can't call it back in any way,
no.
but you just shoot it and it's got a little magnet at the end of it, and it perfectly like just like it would look in real life, it just like swings out and it's all like futzy, but once it hits the magnet part, it's like whoosh, and then snaps like that. It's so cool. I love it so much. I
That's
want
so
one.
awesome.
Just as like a fun party trick.
Yeah.
It's really
That's
neat.
awesome. I met a guy at last year's VidCon, I think, who has a channel all about making real life cool stuff like that. Like I think he had like a really popular video, really viral video about making a Thor's hammer that was like fingerprint censored thing, so
Oh, that's cool.
you couldn't pick it up unless you had his fingerprint.
That's
So
neat.
it was like kind of Age of Ultron-esque sort of a thing.
how it works.
Right, but in real life, you wanted a way to do it that was like only he could pick it up.
That's also not a Norse mythology thing, which I didn't know about.
Yeah, about the like no one else can lift it up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's completely Marvel fabricating that.
that makes sense to me because
Which
you
is
know the
fine.
whole story about how they came up with the Thor's hammer in Marvel, right? It's one of my
No.
favorite stories.
Maybe you've probably told it to me.
It's
before.
I
What is
think we've made a video about it.
Yeah.
but it's one of my favorite stories just because of the visuals that you can think of. So when they were coming up with the character of Thor, they knew they wanted to, incorporate his hammer.
Yeah. Of course.
And I can't remember who was writing it at the time. It might have been like I don't know. Jack Kirby was like coming up with names of things that Stan would put in or whatever. I don't know. Who knows?
I'm pretty sure the original creative team for Thor was Jack Kirby, Stanley, and Larry Lieber.
Larry Lieber. That makes
boys.
sense. Yeah. Whoever was the editor-in-chief at the time.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
Was like so. Anyway, they got like the first draft of the of the Thor, or the first couple issues of Thor done, and whoever was the editor-in-chief at Marvel at the time noticed that they called his hammer like the mighty Uru hammer or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And so he was like, Uru? What is Uru? And so like you can imagine the imagery that I don't know how true this is, but the imagery that I've seen or that even I've like enhanced in my head is like the editor-in-chief was like going crazy all night, rummaging through mythology books, trying to find the word Uru.
Yeah.
And like all these papers sprawled out across his desk, like, I don't see Uru. All I keep seeing is Mjolnir. Where is Uru? And then like, but the next morning when like a Jack Kirby or Larry Lieber or somebody came in and he was like, where did you see Uru? Because I haven't found it anywhere. And I think it was Jack Kirby. And Jack Kirby was like, oh, I just went to like a phone book and I found some letters that I thought looked cool together and I made the word Uru. And like the editor was like, but it's not called Uru. It's called Mjolnir.
Was it because he just didn't understand the word Mjolnir?
No, I don't think he knew it had a name.
Oh, okay.
So he wanted to give it.
Thor had a hammer.
He knew Thor had a hammer. He didn't know it had a name, and so he gave it the name Uru. And so that's why they kind of backtracked and they're like, it's called Mjolnir, and we'll make the metal that it's made of Uru. Yeah.
Was there a reason behind? Do you know if there was a reason behind making the hammer not look like the traditional hammer?
I don't know if there's I don't know.
Of a mallet situation.
I don't know.
That's I've become. I'm really interested in like the tiny changes that people do when adapting just Norse mythology or any mythology. Like one in God of War, for instance, is Brock and Sindri, who are the two in God of War, are the two dwarves that help you throughout your journey. I was gonna say a spoiler on accident, but they're the two dudes who you go and upgrade at, basically.
Oh, cool.
And in Norse mythology, there are two dwarves who are their brothers, and there are two dwarves who are mastersmiths that share basically the same qualities as Brock and Sindri of God of War, but they're called Brock and Eitri, or Eitri or something.
Yeah, Eitri.
Yeah, Eitri. And but so that's
I'm
strange to
speculating.
me.
I've always pronounced it as Eitri. Who knows?
I don't know. That's
the one who made Thor's hammer.
Yes. And among many other things.
Yeah.
But so yeah, Eitri was changed to Sindri, which is fine. I don't know why they did that. But the one that's more fascinating to me is Brock in the game has 1 K in his name, but Brock in Norse mythology has 2.
Oh.
So like just really tiny changes like that. I'm interested in like what was the reason for that, or like another like with Mjolnir in the comics. There's what are the 2 dots called over?
Oh, letters? Like an umlaut, or
I don't think that's what an umlaut is, but similar.
I call it an umlaut, and I'm right because I'm confident about it. No, let me look it up.
But yeah, the Mjolnir in Marvel is traditionally spelled with 1 L and whatever the umlaut is over the O. But in Norse mythology, I think it's 2 L's and there's no fancy.
Yeah, it's an umlaut
thing. Okay, I was thinking something else. But yeah, there's an umlaut over the O, and then 1 L. But it's just like weird spelling things that I don't know if maybe the source material that they read for Norse mythology just spelled it in a different way, or they were just like, I'm gonna make my own stamp on it.
Yeah.
Or like another thing is like, Thor doesn't traditionally have a beard, but he's known for his very stark red beard in Norse mythology, stuff like that.
Interesting.
It's very interesting to me.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I have a friend who's super into mythology, has a whole channel about it.
Yeah, it's me.
It's Dylan. And I know she's been on the record. People have been asking her about God of War because it combines the Norse mythology with the I don't know anything about God of War.
Greek and Roman
mythology.
It's sort of
yeah.
And the new one is basically only Norse mythology.
Right,
it's
but
just that
he
world.
he was carried over from
the understanding of the world of God of War is that all mythologies coexist at once in this world.
So people have been asking her about like what she thinks about people mixing the mythologies, and she was like, I have zero problems with it as long as people don't claim for it to be like the official mythology, because official mythology doesn't exist.
Right.
Yeah. It's all just a matter of
that's just always how the God of War world has sort of been. They've always alluded to it, and they've never like fully explored the idea that the world is not just one mythology until this game.
I mean, mythologies are really hard to even just talk about because there are so many different variations. Like she was saying,
so
like there's no official mythology.
I mean, the source material is mostly just like archaic poems and shit.
Yeah, and like and even still, like there are different variations and
different understandings and translations.
Exactly. So like if anyone says like that's not how it happened like this, and it's like sure, that's probably an interpretation of how it happened.
And that's why like old mythologies like that interest me so much, because I'm really excited to read just like every book and just get so many different people's views on what's going on. Just learn the facets of every little character. I want to learn more about John.
The famous mythological character John
Johnson.
John Johnson.
Son of John.
Of course, John, son of John. I wanted to ask about the God of War games because the new one looks like a lot of fun, and like it would be something that I would enjoy.
You have a PS4 now.
I do.
Play it.
So, that's what I was going to ask is like, do I need to know anything about the previous game? No? Okay.
I never played them.
Jump in.
I knew okay, the only thing you need to know is Kratos in his past life, he was tricked by... He worshipped the god of war, the Roman Greek, and that's the other thing is Roman and Greek mythologies are so close anyway, but in God of War they mix them, so it's not even just like saying that they're similar; they're just completely mixed. So in this, but they refer to it as Greek because they're in Greece, they're in Sparta, that area.
Sure.
So Kratos worshipped the god of war Ares, and at some point, I'm not super clear on this, but basically he sold his soul to Ares for strength to basically become as powerful as a god. And I'm gonna spoil basically all like 7 of the original God of War games.
There's
here.
7 of them?
There's a lot of God of War games.
This is only called God of War 4.
Well, there are 3 main title God of War games.
Okay.
And this one's not even technically called God of War 4. People refer to it as that because
what's it called?
Just God of War.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's a soft reboot. They won't say that it is, but it is. Unplug your thing.
Yeah, I know.
It's being weird. So yeah, he worships the God of War Ares. He sold his soul to him to get a bunch of strength and basically became his like right-hand man. And one day Ares sent Kratos, who's the main character, to a village to pillage the village.
Ooh.
And basically say you will die or join Ares' cause, rah. And little did Kratos know that was the village where his wife and daughter were at. And in a blind rage, he just murdered everyone in the village, and including his wife and daughter. And at that point, he was like, "Well, shit, I fucked up." So he, what's the word for burning a corpse? When you're done with it, as it's like a funeral thing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know.
He did that to his wife and daughter. Took their ashes and bathed in them.
Ooh.
So the reason his skin is so white is because he is covered in the ashes of his dead wife and daughter. We're gonna get some storm.
It's gonna be a thunderstorm today.
It's good, mood sounds for this story. But yeah. So and then he vowed to basically kill Ares and usurp him. And over the course...
were you looking for the word cremate?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I was looking for like a more like ceremonial, archaic term.
I was looking for cremate.
Gotcha.
But so yeah, basically the plot of the first game is that happens. It's been a bit. He's been trying to find Ares. He kills Ares, takes over as the God of War, and is just sort of a dick. because he's just angry. He's very vengeful. That's sort of his whole thing. So between God of War 1 and 2, some things happen. I think there's 1 or 2 games set in that time frame. Basically, all of the gods in the rest of the pantheon are resisting Kratos as the God of War, and they're being real angry at him. So God of War 2, the plot of that is basically he gets real mad and goes to try and kill Zeus to become the god of gods, I think.
Ooh.
Or he's not trying to kill Zeus, but he's killing some more gods. God of War 2, I'm the least clear on.
Who knows?
But at the end of God of War 2, it's revealed that he is not immortal. He is the son of Zeus and his mom, some mortal woman.
Twist.
So he's a demigod.
Because Zeus just can't keep it in his pants.
Oh, absolutely not. No. Zeus has a fucking trillion... That's shitty little boys.
Almost every like mythological story is like, and then Zeus got into some stuff he shouldn't have.
But yeah, so the end of God of War 2 ends with Kratos with the Titans ready to mount an assault on the Pantheon on Mount Olympus to kill basically all the gods, but Zeus, because he's just angry at Zeus for being a little shit. That's right. That's the plot of God of War 2. Zeus betrays Kratos, attacks him because he doesn't want him to be the god of war. And at the end of God of War 2, Kratos tries to kill Zeus, but Athena steps in the way of his spear or something, and he kills Athena instead, and then Zeus runs away like a little bitch. So yeah, God of War 3 starts, and it's like the most shit goes down, where basically Kratos lays waste to the entirety of the remaining Greek pantheon, which is most of it. He kills Hercules, he kills Hermes, he kills Poseidon, he kills Hades, he kills fucking everyone.
Heck yeah.
And the end of the you kill Zeus at the end of the game. There's this really fun gameplay bit where you can punch Zeus in first person for literally as long as you want, to the point where the entire screen is covered in blood and you're just hearing the sounds of Kratos smashing Zeus's face in.
I love that.
And the end of the game ends with Athena's ghost has sort of been haunting you the whole time. She's ascended into like this better god form.
Nice.
After you kill her, and she's like, "Give me my power back that I gave you to be able to kill Zeus. I need it to restore hope to the world." And Kratos sees through her lies and is like, "You're just going to use it to put yourself back in a position of power." It's also throughout the course of the game, Kratos killing these gods has had an effect on the world of Greece. It's like it's been releasing in Greek mythology, there's like the plagues that will devour the world once the gods die, sort of like Ragnarok, but more encircled on the gods being dumb. So like with each kill, it released like locusts into the air, and when he kills Poseidon, an unending storm starts around, and the tides get all fucked, like is happening outside right now. But so he, so Zeus, or not Zeus, Kratos and Athena are talking at the end, and Kratos is like, "Well, fuck you. I'm not gonna let you have this hope power anymore. I'm gonna kill myself." To release it to the world so that just the world has hope again.
Okay.
So he does that. He stabs himself in the chest and leaves this giant gaping hole. And Athena's like, "What have you done?" Rah! And seemingly Kratos is dead. End of story. Hope is to the world. End of Kratos' story. Post-credit scene. You see a trail of blood leading into the water with this storm that killing Poseidon caused. And through basically an unknown period of time at the time of this recording, Kratos swam from Greece, from the land of Sparta and Greek mythology, to Norway, Scandinavia, the land of Norse mythology, and started over there. And now he's got a beard and a kid.
Woo!
And that's all you got to know. So basically, Kratos is... And the biggest thing, the sort of the premise of God of War, is that over what I think has been hundreds of years, Kratos has become remorseful for what he did, and he's turning over a new leaf and is trying to leave his vengeful past in the vengeful past. So yeah, the Greek pantheon's dead. He is known as the Ghost of Sparta because, you know, he fucking murdered everyone.
And he's pale.
Yeah. And that's all you need to know to play God of War.
Awesome.
It's really good.
It looks a lot of fun. I love like combat games like that, which is why I kind of liked the Shadow of Mordor or whatever.
Action adventure.
I like a lot of that.
Those are my favorites.
Shooty games are fun, but I don't like having to always be like behind cover and peek out and shoot a thing. I like to just get in there and like start swinging swords and axes and whatever. Plus there's that cool mechanic where you throw the axe and you recall it. It seems really satisfying.
It's so satisfying, dude.
I want to play it.
I want to let you play my copy a bit, but literally the second I boot it up, so many spoilers on screen.
Yeah, okay.
Because I've beaten it, so I don't want to.
You've already beaten it?
Yeah, I beat it 3 days after it came out.
Oh, wait, how long has it been out?
May 20th. No, April 20th, sorry.
April 20th?
May,
oh, okay.
So, yeah, came out on 4/20.
Oh, okay. Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, no, I beat it that weekend because I didn't want it to interrupt my work schedule at all. It's like a 40-hour game, so it'll probably take you 7 years.
Yeah, it probably will. I'm still there are like 5 games I'm currently playing, and I don't know if I'll ever finish them.
It's less open world than stuff like Shadow of Mordor.
Okay,
it's more.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I just as long as the combat's satisfying.
Oh yeah, combat's super satisfying. It has open world aspects, but it's not. I wouldn't describe it as an open world game.
So I'm trying to play through the Uncharted series, and I'm still on Uncharted 2.
It's similar to Uncharted.
Yeah, like in terms of like level.
Yeah, because it's more open world than Uncharted, less open world than Horizon or Shadow of Mordor.
All right, cool.
Maybe
cool.
I think Tomb Raider's sort of the same way.
Yeah, Tomb Raider is like in between totally open world and very linear.
I think some of the people that worked on Tomb Raider worked on God of War.
Well, see, I like that because I played Tomb Raider before I started Uncharted, and so many people recommended Uncharted to me because I like Tomb Raider, and I'm like, I get how you think these games are similar, but they're not similar.
Tomb Raider has way more gameplay.
It does. It has way more like freedom of choice on how you approach things. Like you can do it stealth, you could go guns a-blazing, you can craft things on the fly and throw things in.
Uncharted is like a movie that is a game. Playable. It's an interactive movie, which is not a criticism.
No. I enjoy between Tomb Raider and Uncharted, I enjoy the characters in Uncharted a lot more. I think they're more fleshed out. They're more.
That's sort of the point of Uncharted.
They're like Laura Croft is good, but like all of the other Lara Croft, whatever, she's great, but like all the other characters she interacts with are just so boring and so like one-dimensional that I just don't care. Whereas in Uncharted, all the characters, you can feel like they have a history and they're so they got banter.
I think you're really gonna like God of War.
Yeah,
because it sort of combines those two, where it's such a good just cinematic experience with every character is so fucking interesting and funny and good and nice.
Oh, I'm excited.
And the gameplay is just so good, and it is by and large the most beautiful game to ever exist.
Really?
I think.
I've seen because I just have the Slim, and I don't think there's any like better quality.
It doesn't matter.
No, but I was just saying, like,
I mean, it looks way better on the Pro, but
I was seeing people say like this is how it looks on just the stock PS4, and it still looks awesome.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I've said this about Horizon in the past. Horizon, I don't think I ever claimed as like well, it was sort of the standard for graphics for a couple years there, but it's only been out for a little bit over a year. Horizon, I still think the set dressing in the world of Horizon, just the colors pop way more than God of War. But God of War, just like graphically, like the physical graphics of it, nothing beats it.
Really?
Maybe some like test bench game on PC.
Sure.
Like, I don't know, like if Crysis 4 ever comes out. Crysis 4 might be out, actually. I don't know. Some Crytek shit, they could probably, with a godlike PC that no one could reasonably afford, might look better than God of War. But God of War, for being on a console, is ridiculously pretty. Yeah. It's so good looking.
It looks good. Oh, I'm excited to play it.
Should play that in Horizon. I forgot you had a PS4 now.
Yeah.
There's so many good games to play. Buy a PS4. Do yourself a goddamn favor. If not for God of War or Horizon or Uncharted or The Last of Us or any of the other Sony exclusives.
Yeah.
Get it for Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. I don't know if I would enjoy Last of Us, but I've seen enough videos about it to be like, I appreciate it, but like I don't know if I personally would enjoy playing it. I might enjoy watching somebody play it, but like I don't know if I would enjoy it. But like I don't know. Spider-Man, though, I'm really excited about. That comes out in September?
September 7th.
Oh, man.
Counting down those days.
That's gonna be fun. I knew I was always gonna buy a PS4 specifically for that game. But I'm glad that there are other games that I can play on there.
Sony is like the Nintendo of the 90s right now. They're fucking killing it.
Yeah.
With all of the exclusives that they have. Like, I didn't even know that until God of War came out, I didn't think it was a Sony exclusive. Just because I hadn't been super invested in God of War for the longest time. I was like, oh, it's coming out on Xbox too, right? It's like, no. It's basically, it's a first-party Sony title, pretty much.
That's pretty awesome. I remember it in PlayStation All-Stars back in the day.
You also got like Little Big Planet. You got, there's a billion.
There's so many.
Sony has got the shit. Xbox.
Got all of them.
It's coming down.
It's pouring outside.
Xbox is fine.
Yeah,
Microsoft does some shit.
Yeah.
They do some shitty shit.
Well, it's run by ants or
yeah.
Or was it a DVD copy of Shark Tale? I can't remember. Both. Who knows?
No, Microsoft is ants.
Microsoft's ants.
This is donkey jokes.
Who was the DVD copy of Shark Tale?
Ubisoft?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh boy. No, I think that was Nintendo. I don't know.
Nintendo. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Oh well.
Video game donkey lore.
Video game donkey lore. But yeah, no. I was trying to think of what games I've been playing on Xbox, and I think, other than
they just don't have good exclusives.
No exclusives, but I play Overwatch because that's just where I got started on it. But that's on PS4 too. If I wanted to play on there,
and that's the thing. They don't give a shit about exclusives, seemingly.
No.
Because every single game since 2015, since the Xbox One came out, is like crossplay with Windows 10.
Yeah.
So if you just
Wanda's been trying to get up on this ledge for a while.
She loves getting up on that ledge, but I close the blinds when we film for lighting consistency.
Oh, I think Sea of Thieves isn't for PS4.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves is exclusive because they own Rare, which is upsetting in every way. That's the other thing. They buy companies for exclusives and then they fuck those companies.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying Sea of Thieves is bad, but do you know, I know you're not too into history of video games and stuff like that, but do you know how much shit Rare gave us?
No.
Rare, when they were...
Did they give us Gex?
No. I don't think... Well, maybe, actually.
Maybe.
I don't know. Rare is like the creator of so much shit. When they were buddy-buddy with Nintendo, they were making... just look up titles that Rare did.
I'm looking up Gex.
Okay. Rare is like the godfather of just good shit in the 90s.
Yeah.
And then Microsoft bought them, and they haven't. That's what I was trying to say. Is Microsoft bought them, and they haven't really capitalized on their IPs since then, except a remake of Conker's Bad Fur Day, which is pretty bad.
Yeah.
They made I think the one good game, except maybe Sea of Thieves and something I'm forgetting, since Microsoft bought Rare, was a game called Cameo, which was an Xbox 360 exclusive, which I really loved. I played that as a kid, and I thought it had some of that Rare charm. It was Rare charm.
Rare. Yeah.
But the point of it was you played this sort of girl who could transform into different beings. It was sort of a puzzle platformer. It was really fun.
That's kind of fun. All right, I navigated to the Wikipedia page of games that Rare gave us. And I will try to...
Banjo-Kazooie is their claim to fame.
Jeopardy!
Oh.
And I joke, but these are the games that I actually played as a kid, were Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune.
Well, there you go. You have Rare to thank.
I have Rare to thank for those. Because, my grandparents were the ones with the gaming systems. So they could entertain us kids when we visited. But they didn't know what games, so they only knew, Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, because it's what they recognized.
They're like, oh, we like these.
And Hollywood Squares, of course. Jeopardy Junior Edition. I wish I had that, because I was a kid when I played this. I didn't know any references to actual...
They had fucking Conker's Bad Fur Day, Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64. Christ. They had so much shit.
They had The Amazing Spider... Oh, wait, I did play this one. The Amazing Spider-Man? Oh, no, that was the Game Boy. I didn't play a Game Boy one.
Also, they have... They just... When they got with... I think they made Perfect Dark as well.
Boy, Perfect Dark was a game that I could not get through the first level because I couldn't understand it.
That's fair.
Like I didn't know where to go.
Battletoads.
Battletoads, a game I've never played, but I hear a lot about.
It's a sort of a meme.
Yeah, yeah.
God, they made so much Battletoads. Jesus Christ.
They made all of the Battletoads.
Donkey Kong Country, Killer Instinct. Here we go.
Killer Instinct.
Here's
okay, there we go. Yeah.
God, and this is why like we haven't gotten a new GoldenEye, right?
Oh yeah, 007. I remember that.
They made so much shit. So much good. Yeah, they did do Perfect Dark.
I think I played Donkey Kong 64. I think that's the only Donkey Kong game I played. No, wait, no.
Is so good.
Wait, no, I didn't play 64. I played one on Super Nintendo.
Viva Pinata? Sorry, that was after they bought. That was another good thing that
yeah.
they did. Viva Pinata. I fucking love Viva Pinata.
There you go.
Yeah, but then when Microsoft bought them and after they made Viva Pinata, and they got like a sour reception to Nuts and Bolts, they just made them make Kinect games.
Ugh.
For a little while.
Ew.
And then the only things that they've done since Nuts and Bolts where Microsoft was like, well, clearly they made Nuts and Bolts and people hated it, so they don't know how to make games anymore, and they didn't just make a mistake. That was probably because of editorial mandate.
Right.
They've made Kinect Sports.
They sure have.
Kinect Sports Season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Killer Instinct, which was fine.
Sure.
It was bogged down by you had to buy every character.
Kinect Sports
Rivals. Rare Replay, which was just a compilation game.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sea of Thieves.
And then Sea of Thieves.
Which was recent.
Which is, you know...
There were fucking 4 years between developing games, if you don't count Rare Replay.
Admittedly, Sea of Thieves is basically just... like beta right now. Like it's actually out, but like there's not a ton to do, and I know that's
the modern state of gaming.
They've outlined the next like 6 months or so worth of content of what they're actually gonna do. And it gets started this month.
I will say, like, probably without a doubt in my mind, that is Microsoft saying release the game so we can make money and then update it as it goes.
Yeah. Well, it's the
hate that shit.
It's games as a service instead of a product. Yeah.
It's not all games have to be that way. God of War. I'm so fucking glad that game came out because everyone was like, oh, single player games are dead. Like Microsoft and EA were like, single player games are dead. They're not. Nobody plays them anymore. So games are a service. They're a multiplayer service, and that's just the state of modern gaming. That's
what it is.
And God of War comes out and gets 10 out of 10s from like every review outlet ever, and they're like, oh fuck.
Wait. Is God of War... How's the online multiplayer on God of War?
There is none.
Is that... But it's coming, right? Like that's what the...
Nope. And there's... Cory Barlog, the director, has said that there will probably be no DLC for God of War.
Yeah.
Which... I'm slightly sad about because I don't not like DLC, but don't give my cat coffee.
Feeding Wanda coffee.
DLC when handled correctly can be done very well.
Yeah.
Like the DLC for Horizon, perfectly well done. They shipped a complete game that was super good, and then like 6 months later came out with a like 13-hour DLC that felt just completely great and was integrated perfectly. Like God of War has a really easy out that I won't spoil for DLC, but that they could put in there. But also, yeah, the world of like the game, once you play it, you don't really want DLC because, I mean, you want DLC because you want to play more of the game, but there's nothing that feels like they took something out of the game to play that. Like playing Horizon, knowing the DLC is the Frozen Wilds, which is in this area that, like, you go to this area in part of Horizon where, it's not really spoilers, sort of spoilers, but not really. You go to this area that's a small village of the Banuk tribe. And the Banuk are sort of the shamans of the Horizon world, and they commune with the machines, the robo-dinos, really well. And you stumble upon this village where all of the machines are tame. And it's just a bunch of Banuk people with a bunch of tame machines, and it's just this one isolated area in the northeast corner of the map. And no is like, and I was super interested in that. There's a quest there that you have to do to like make the machines tame again because they go hostile for some reason. And that the DLC is about the Banuk, and like you could kind of tell. What I'm trying to say is you could kind of tell, like, with hindsight, that yes, they were probably setting up the DLC with that tribe, knowing it going in.
Yeah.
That's just it's a stepping stone to a larger problem of stripping content from the game to later sell back to you.
Right.
But I don't think like Horizon towed that line, but ultimately it didn't feel like that.
Sure.
But there are games like trying to think of a specific one, but there are games that have just like stripped things completely. Like Breath of the Wild, Nintendo makes you pay money for the hard mode. In the
Really?
game. Yeah.
That's weird.
You have to buy one of the 3 DLC packs to gain access to hard mode.
Really?
Which is fucking stupid.
That's
like,
really
shut
dumb.
Up. Hard mode should be a free update, not DLC. It's not new content.
Oh, man.
It's just a difficulty change.
Man, I rarely buy
Piss off.
games because I rarely buy games when they launch. So like, I usually always get like the
Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, pretty much something
edition.
like something where it's like got all the things for cheaper than I would have,
Yeah, because you would have even bought the game at launch anyway.
Yeah.
Like you could buy Shadow of Mordor with all the DLC for $20 these days.
Yeah, like that's I think that's what I did for that. And same with like Tomb Raider. I bought like the definitive edition or whatever, which came with all the things.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I played any of the DLC, like the side missions. I just played the main game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like so it's hard for me to come up with examples. I think the last games that I was buying like on launch was like Mass Effect games because I just love that world. But boy, am I just never gonna do that again because I haven't even bothered. I don't even think I'm like a quarter of the way through Andromeda. I just didn't care for it at all.
Yeah,
and
most
that
people didn't.
And that made me sad. Like there were like these glimmers of like, oh, it could have been this.
Good Mass Effect.
Yeah, but
that was like I love watching because the original like release trailers for Mass Effect leading up to it, everyone was super pumped. And I love watching those now and being like, oh no.
Yeah.
Your opinion's gonna do a 180 in about 2 years.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. But I do remember like Mass Effect 2 had a lot of DLC that I did buy. And it was like other characters that you could have on your team, which was kind of cool. And there were some like cool like cinematic stuff too. But ultimately those characters didn't factor into the game as a whole, obviously, because they were just DLC. Right. Mass Effect 3 had one final DLC thing that I never purchased, but it was like kind of like a whole like getting the band all together. Like I think the way that they were marketing it was like this kind of trailer where it was all of the teammates that you've ever had kind of all got together and like it's like a fun thing, kind of like, hey, let's all get in here and take a picture or whatever. And because it was like the one last ride sort of a thing before they basically rebooted the series with brand new characters.
Just soft reboot.
Yeah, so like I never did that one, but I always imagined it was probably kind of cool, but I don't know.
There was Nintendo actually sort of has a weird history with DLC because they used to be completely vehemently against it, but I think one day someone told them that they could make money off of it.
Yeah, and they're like, wait, hold on, wait, we like money.
Yeah, because from the Wii U had a little bit of DLC. The prime example of the Wii U having DLC was Smash, because in Smash they sold each new character for like $10 or something.
Really?
Which is fucking awful. I don't know if it was $10. It may have been like $5, but don't add new characters to your fighting game that has an esports community and charge people for it. Ugh. That's so like money grubbing and bad.
That's like, I mean, I still have to play this on a stream at some point, but like the Injustice 2, I was given the whatever the Ultimate Edition whatever thing is, and so like that just had a couple different. I think it had like 8 additional characters or something like that. So that just came unlocked. Yeah.
When you're locking content that has direct implications on gameplay behind a paywall, no one's going to be happy with you.
Yeah.
Just put cosmetics behind paywalls.
And like, but the thing with even like Injustice, and I haven't been playing it for too long, and I'm really such a newbie to fighting games, but like even a lot to cosmetics have
which is dumb in its own right.
They've got like additional stats and things, which
would be fine if you couldn't buy any of them.
Like the thing,
Injustice has loot boxes. So.
Yeah, they do. And like the thing that I really dislike about any games where like the cosmetics have certain stats is that, you know, especially if it's like an RPG sort of a thing, it's like your character has to be like, do you want to look a cool way, or do you want to have the better stats and not look the way that you want to look? And like that kind of thing kind of annoys me a bit. I haven't run into that problem, I don't think, in Injustice. That's another game that I'm playing at the moment. But like, I'm sure I'll get there. I just haven't unlocked a lot of stuff either, but I'm sure I'll get to the point where like Green Arrow will be like, the best costume for Green Arrow is one where he's not green, and I'm like, then what's the point? Come on.
Well, that's like there's costumes for the Flash in that game that just make you reverse Flash.
Yeah, that's right. They do. They make you reverse Flash. Yeah, because I guess they were just like, well, we could come up with a different moveset for Reverse Flash, but like, why?
It's just fan service, really.
Yeah, it's the same. Good. They do that for a couple different characters, I think. But yeah, and I think I do have the Reverse Flash one on my Flash because I think it looks cooler or whatever. But yeah, I'm really bad at fighting games, though.
Sort of a light at the end of the tunnel for microtransactions and DLC stuff.
Yeah.
Shadow of War was heavily criticized by lots of people, myself included, for the end game being basically unplayable without paying money. So it's not really a huge spoiler, but the end game of Shadow of War is basically you are in a huge war. This is a war.
So much so that it casts a shadow.
It casts a shadow between you and the opposition. And there's the mechanic in the game where you build an army to assault, other people's fortresses. And in the game, in this end game, it's called the Shadow Wars. The fortresses, the territories are constantly in contest between the opposition and yourself. So you have to defend them and beat them basically until you get to a certain point, and then you get like a 30-second cutscene, which is the real ending. But the problem is there is an insane difficulty spike from where you were fighting fortresses before the end game to the end game, and it's not gradual. It's just suddenly when you get to the Shadow Wars, everyone's like fucking 30 levels higher than you.
Oh god.
So either you can grind for like 20 hours like each fortress, and each fortress like levels up after you beat it, so you just have to do this over and over again, or you can buy loot boxes which will just give you level appropriate orcs to beat those fortresses. So either you play the game just doing tedious shit for like 60 hours, or you pay money. So basically your option is you pay money,
right? Or you just quit, like me. Like, that's what I would do.
That's what I did, too. Because I was like, this is bullshit. I looked up the secret ending and was like, that's not even that worth it.
No.
So I'm done. Because I didn't want to support something like that.
No.
However, a couple weeks ago, at the time of this recording, EA, or not EA, sorry, Warner Brothers. Yeah. Wait, is EA the publisher? No, EA is not the publisher. Warner Brothers is. Yeah, because they're their own studio. Warner Brothers came out and was like, hey, we fucked up. We get that now. Microtransactions are bad when utilized poorly. We are going to completely remove microtransactions and gold, which is the paid currency, from the game entirely. And once we do that, we're going to retune the Shadow Wars to be easier to do without those orcs, because they'll be gone now. Which is great and beautiful and good on them. It's a little bit too late.
Sure is.
The game's been out for a long time now.
I'm sure eventually I'll buy the definitive edition. And I think beat it over the course of 2 years.
Yeah, it does have a DLC or two out now, which I haven't played because I wasn't even paying attention after beating it. But I'm excited now because I think they're doing that in June. They're getting rid of everything in June. Once they do that, I'm going to get the DLC and maybe finally beat the game, because I love that. It's a great game. It's not as good as Shadow of Mordor, but it's still fun. The story went places, and it was a good time. And I like the fortress sieges. It's just, I don't want to spend a bunch of money to do them.
Yeah.
I feel gross doing that. Like, it's like, what the hell's the point at that point?
Exactly.
Where I'm just giving you more money to beat this game and get a 30-second cutscene. I'll pass. That ain't my lifestyle.
That ain't me.
What are you doing, Wanda?
She's stealing the show, honestly.
She's just kind of hanging out.
She's kind of here. Look at her, going right at the camera. What is she doing?
I just put my finger on her throat, and she was like, "Huh?"
She was like, "Well, okay, we're doing this now."
It's okay, kid.
Oh, how long have we been going for?
53.
Oh man, we did one question that inspired all of that.
Oh, let's do it. Wasn't the no? That was last episode.
The question was about webs or whatever.
Oh, that's right. Let's do one more.
Let's do one more. Let's see.
Sorry if you guys don't play video games in any way. I sort of alienated this whole. I don't have an outlet to talk about games.
Sure.
So this podcast sort of.
That's what it turns into
occasionally.
We have a question that's specifically addressed towards me.
Okay.
But you're more than free to answer.
Thanks for your permission.
Yep. This comes from Jordan, who asks, as someone who is very unfashionable who wants to start dressing better, what suggestions do you have? Mainly Scott. Keep in mind, I am an Aussie, so I can't use Stitch Fix or similar services.
Okay, first off, fuck you, Jordan. This was replying to the online podcast Twitter, fully aware that I am also a part of this podcast.
Yes.
Okay, so then,
so the thing is, we talked about our differences and like where we shop and what kind of things. So like, I feel like we get some good perspective going back and forth here.
I don't know if I want to help him.
You don't want to help him or her?
Sort of a dick.
Yeah.
I guess Jordan is. It doesn't matter.
Well, let me look at the profile picture and then assume a gender real quick.
I know you want Scott's opinion.
Hard to tell.
Scott is the best dresser in the world.
That's correct.
Well, even if you could tell it, you never know.
Yeah.
You don't know what that.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to assume. That's
exactly.
why I joked about it already.
So, Scott, take it away, I guess.
I don't know. For me, I've been changing up how I dress. I'm moving away from plaid and going on to more fun things. I like patterns. I've been getting probably too much into floral patterns, but I do like the floral patterns.
They're nice.
I dig them.
That's definitely a modern, new, like it's a newer men's fashion movement.
And I really dig it. The only reason I have a lot of floral is because I would much rather just have like patterns of some kind. And I have a couple shirts that just have patterns that aren't plaid. Yeah. But they're much harder to find that I've found. Like I think I have maybe 2 shirts that just have like like one of them just like, like little V shapes or whatever. Okay. And like, that's fine. That's one of my favorite shirts. It has no like pictures or anything. It's just like a pattern, and it's really cool looking. But those are much harder to find for me. Other than I bought this shirt yesterday when I went to the mall. And they were having a sale where it's like you get one, you get the other one 50% off. And I didn't even want another shirt, but like I bought another shirt anyway.
Can't pass up those deals.
So I bought one that I'll probably wear once or twice. I don't know. It's a bit too far for me, where it's similar to this, but it's white, and instead of flowers, it's parrots. And like, I think it's kind of fun as a vacation shirt for sure. Yeah. And I'm going to LA soon, specifically for a vacation. So that's why I'm gonna
every other day.
I do.
God.
Well, now it's that time where I'm going for different cons too. So like I'm going for
con season is starting.
I'm going for ClamorCon and I'm going for VidCon.
Oh yeah, KamehaCon is this weekend.
There you go.
Dope.
But I don't know. So the question was about advice on being fashionable without having services like that. Well, I feel like you always go to thrift stores. That's really good.
That's what I was going to suggest.
A really great idea
on being fashionable. First off, just find your style that you like.
Exactly.
And stick with it. And a fantastic way to do that is not looking up things online and what looks good. Just go to a thrift store and be like, hey, that looks cool. I'd wear that. And then buy it for so cheap.
I mean, the reason I started dressing like this is because I was inspired by different shows that I watched, different characters that I watched.
Just see like, hey, that looks cool. I'd want to wear that.
Yeah, like even things, all the little things. Like this is a short sleeve shirt, but I rolled up the sleeves a little bit because I had learned that like it looks better when it falls above the midline of your arm or whatever, and also it just makes it seem like you paid a little bit more attention to your outfit instead of just throwing something on. Like all the little tiny tweaks like that is stuff that I just learned from picking up from watching. I watch a lot of fashion YouTube, actually. I watch like Real Men, Real Style is a personal friend of mine.
I would say be careful with that.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have a style already, like you're not comfortable with what you're wearing.
Yes.
Find that first.
Yes.
Because you don't want to, you don't want to look the same as everyone else.
100%.
So.
Real Men, Real Style dresses nothing like how I dress.
Yeah.
He's very much suits and like really expensive kind of clothing, which is not, and I will occasionally wear, I like jackets. Jackets are fun. Yeah. I like ties as well. But overall, I usually just watch a lot of this stuff to get general tips on things like how to match patterns with other patterns or colors and whatnot, or what shoes to wear with this sort of a thing. But like overall style wise, definitely find yourself and not just copy other people, for sure. Like
thrift stores are the best for that.
Like bomber jackets are something that I love on other people, but I hate on myself.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, like I think they're really, really cool, but I don't think I could ever pull one off.
Almost every piece of women's clothing is something that I love on other people, but would hate on myself.
There you go.
I would like to wear them, but I look bad in them.
Like I have a bomber jacket, but when I wear it, I just look like I'm like a part of security. Like I look like I'm like there patrolling, and like I'm not just there as a person.
Like, I've been testing my limits with certain pieces of clothing. Like I have a couple tunics that are actual women's clothing.
Yeah.
That I wear and I love. They're like my favorite pieces of clothing, but it's so difficult because most tunics have a low cut top. I'm like, fucking God, stop. I don't have boobers to show off.
There you go.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
But I also have some infinity scarves that are more often associated with
spoilers for Infinity War.
Oh, my bad. And I love them, and they're great. I've only been called out once for wearing an infinity scarf, and it was from Benny on a live stream.
Really?
It was just because it wasn't because it was like you're wearing girl clothes. It was just he thought it was hot in Texas because it's only ever hot in Texas.
Right.
So
of
he
course.
was like, "Why are you wearing an infinity scarf in Texas?" And I'm like, "It's cold. What are you talking
infinity
about?"
scarves a female object item? I thought it
More
was
so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't have one, but like
Well, in infinity scarves specifically, I think.
Okay.
Like scarves, men can wear
unisex
more
sort of a thing,
like not be judged by. But I think I'm pretty sure infinity scarves are sort of more in the women's camp.
Okay. Cool.
But
interesting.
let your freak flag fly.
Yeah, wear whatever you feel most confident in. I wear this hat, even though apparently everybody hates it.
You can go to a thrift store and build a wardrobe of things that you think you're gonna look good in and enjoy for very cheap.
I would recommend experimenting with cheaper things.
Yes.
And once you
build a base.
Once you find your style, then I would say feel free to just go all out if you can afford more expensive stuff.
Yeah.
I've bought. Like, I never thought I would be the kind of person to have a ton of shoes. I always hated the idea of having more than one pair of shoes.
Still have one pair.
Like, I was always the person who was like, I buy sneakers and they're utilitarian and I can wear them with whatever. Now I'm like, well, what shoe? I have like so many different pairs of shoes. I'm like, what shoes, what colors look good with it? I bought recently, green shoes that I'm like, I don't think I can wear this with more than a couple different shirts or a couple different outfits, but like, boy, I love this color and I feel like it would just add a lot of things. But like, it's just because I've gotten to the point where I know that like I'm gonna be able to, I can afford to spend a little bit more on these shoes because I know I'm gonna wear them and I know that they kind of go with the style that I want. And that's, I mean, that also just goes with, I know you said you can't do like a Stitch Fix or any sort of service like that, but for anybody who can, just know when to say that something isn't going to work for you.
I would also say, honestly, Stitch Fix and boxes like that are a terrible place to start. Because you don't know what you want.
Exactly.
And those work so much better on telling your stylist what you want. And you're just going to waste so much money with Stitch Fix, Trunk Club, stuff like that, trying to figure out what you want. So
yes,
it's just a waste. Like they sort of advertise it as like, we'll send you things that you didn't even know that you wanted, but that sort of implies that you have either A, all the money in the world, or B, already have a wardrobe to begin with.
Yeah.
So
go to like we've been saying, go to a thrift store, try some stuff out. And I would say gradually work up too. Like when I went to the mall the other day, I just went to like Old Navy, which is like,
welcome to Old Navy,
which is like, it's not my favorite place. I always feel like embarrassed shopping at Old Navy. I don't know why. It's just something about like just something about the brand Old Navy that's just but like It's a lot of good clothes for pretty cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought like 3 pairs of pants there the other day because I just realized I had only like mostly jeans, and I'm like, I want like chinos. I want like something that breathe a little bit better. I mean,
pants.
also do what?
I want some more colorful pants.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I went out and
better.
bought like some crazy colored pants. These socks gotta stay up though. You know what I'm saying? But like, I only had like blue pants or blue and gray, or maybe some khakis. But I wanted something with some color, so I finally got something like that.
I have blue jeans, some gray pant, and red pant, and then the ones I'm wearing right now, I have corduroy, brown pant on, which I like a lot.
Definitely.
They're
and
from
like
somewhere.
And I would just also say, like, you know, obviously know your local weather too, because like part of the reason why I'm stepping away from jeans is because it's going to be summer in Texas,
it's gonna be hot
and
soon.
I don't think I look great in shorts, but I went and bought a pair of shorts just to test it out, you know, again, trying things out, testing it out.
I got some shorts last summer on Amazon that I really like, and they're not like, I fucking hate that. That's another like a staple of men's fashion is shorts that for some reason lately your shorts have to be like 6 inches above your knees.
They're really high.
Like, fuck off. What are you talking about?
Not for me.
So I had to find some that I have like one pair of shorts that's slightly above my knees, and I like them. But I got them at a thrift store for like $3, so it wasn't like a risk to buy them.
Yes,
like, I have these now, so if I want to wear them, I can wear them.
And as a small tip for someone like me probably would have liked to hear back in the day, if you see something labeled as a slim fit, that doesn't mean you have to be a skinny guy to wear it.
Also true.
I'm pretty
fit is very good. Very important thing as well. Yeah,
fit is important. A lot of the stuff I wear is a slim fit, and I am not a slim dude. It's just the cut. It's how it's cut. Instead of it being boxy, it kind of like hugs you a little bit better. And even if you are a bigger guy like me, it still looks better than like having like tons of folds of clothes over you.
Just by and large, the rule is if something is going to look way better on you if it fits you.
Yes.
If it's too big or too small, it's not going to look as good. And I feel like that's a misconception that people get with like bigger guys or just bigger people in general. Is things that fit you, like, you know, make you look like you're busting out of your shirt or something. No, that clearly doesn't fit.
That doesn't
too small.
Fit. Yes. And I know a ton of like skinnier or muscular dudes will purposely buy shirts that are too small to like help the muscles stick out, or like to make it seem like they're, you know, bursting out of their shirts. That's annoying. But like in general, as we're kind of, you know, the general theme here is, you know, test out, see what you like. Once you know what you like, then it's good. I think it's a good idea to invest in things. Like if you're like me and you like wearing button-ups, I have gotten a bunch of button-ups specifically tailored to my body. It's more expensive, but I feel way better in them because they fit me perfectly. This is not an example of one of those shirts, but this one actually fits pretty good. So
also totally feel comfortable just staying with thrift stores like I do.
Sure.
or just bargain hunting on Amazon and stuff like that. Amazon's another great place too, because they always have like weird sales.
Yeah, I mean, it's about whatever you feel comfortable in. I know for me personally, like having a shirt that's a little bit too small or a little bit too big is something that I don't feel comfortable in. So I like it when it's like custom to fit to my body. It is more expensive, but it's just, I don't know, like there's the feeling of being comfortable wearing it because it's made for me is something that I quite enjoy a lot.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's helpful at all, or there's some good advice in there.
Hopefully it was. That's all the time we got for today.
That's all the time.
We went a little over, but that's fine.
That's all right.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to follow us on Twitter, send us some questions with the hashtag AskTheo. You can follow that at the OnPod. It's a good time. It'll be on the screen with the outro if you want that. I'm on Twitter at OrmAlexander if you want opinions on random shit and sad tweets occasionally.
There you go. I'm on Twitter as well at Scott Nicewander, but I've deleted it from my phone, so I will only like respond once a day when I get on my computer. Or you can just follow me at NerdSync. I have NerdSync on here, and also just on YouTube in general. Watch more videos that we make. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Sorry, I just got really excited because I have money and I could buy a new phone case today.
There you go.
Anyway, yeah, is that it? Do we do it?
I guess that's everything. Close the book.
That's how the cookie crackles. Bingo.
For any of our viewers who have access to internet, we invite your comments.